Hey guys, it's the team here at Authentic Mission, and we're ready for another podcast. A discussion between myself and another team member, and we are going to look at things from two different points of view. And let's see if we agree, let's see if we disagree, let's see if there's a little bit on both sides. And our topic today is going to be...
What's the topic going to be?
Well, I was thinking minimum wage and the increase in Ontario, and you might as well say all across Canada because different provinces are increasing over a different period of time. So in Ontario, by 2019, we're supposed to be going up to $15 an hour.
I thought it was 2018. Oh, never mind. That's 14. My bad.
Did I just say 2014?
19.
Okay. So
did I say 2014? I meant to say 2018.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Cool. Yeah, so it's going to be, by 2019, it's going to be $15 an hour.
Wow.
In January, it's going to be $13 an hour. And right now we're at,
I thought it was 14.
No, it's 13.
What?
Yeah. And then 6 months later, in June, it's supposed to be 14, and then 6 months after that, by 2019, it's going to be $15 an hour. And I've heard arguments on both sides, and it seems like people in your generation, I keep attacking your generation, but people in your generation...
Stop attacking my generation.
Yeah, well, some of them just have their heads in the clouds and don't understand, in my opinion, the way money works. And you've been working your ass off gradually more and more over the past 2 years, almost 3.
Yeah.
I've talked to a mutual friend of ours outside of here, and I was like, no, this is bad, and they told me, and I'm quoting, you don't get it, you're just looking at it from an employer standpoint because you got to pay your team members more, and you don't get it. And I'm like, no, you don't get it, because when minimum wage goes up, everything else goes up. So being that you're working 2 jobs and you're working your ass off, we've had private conversations, but let's bring that to the forefront. What do you think? Minimum wage going up to $15 an hour, good or bad?
Well, let me tell you, ever since I turned 10, I've been trying to make money. Doing all I can, doing multiple paper routes, and then pretty much did that till I was 16, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And then I came to work for you, and ever since then, I just do it to get money, because I like to have money in my pocket, but mind you, I'm bad at saving it. So I kind of have quite a view on this minimum wage going up thing, because that's pretty insane. So I don't know, because I'm being told that where I work, other than here, at a grocery store, mm-hmm. I do nights, and I used to start at 40 and like a week, 40 hours a week, and then I gradually went down to like 32, and now it's 28. I don't know why they're doing this. I think it's because they're trying to test out how much work they'd get done if they lower the hours of the people working there once the minimum wage goes up. Mm-hmm. I think this is just like a test run, which I don't think is fair. But I don't know. I'm being told that since like the wage is going up, our hours are just gonna get lowered, so we're gonna get we're gonna get paid the same anyways. So I don't know, I think it's really weird.
Do you understand, unlike most people in your generation, that minimum wage goes up, things get more expensive?
Oh yeah, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think a lot is going to get more expensive. I think they're just saying minimum wage is increasing right now, but what happens after that, oh, this is increasing, that's increasing. We're just going up to a higher currency for some reason. Mm-hmm. Maybe it has something to do with the Bitcoin randomly going up.
That might be a piece of it. Might be. I don't know that much about
Or maybe
cryptocurrency.
that's just some Illuminati conspiracy.
Well, yeah, that's another thing entirely. Because Bitcoin is a good thing. I will say that. If you want more info on Bitcoin, go to. I'm gonna give the guy a plug, but whatever. Go to WAM or World Alternative Media from Josh. Now I don't know how to pronounce Josh's name. I've heard it 1,000 times. I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'm just going to say Josh from World Alternative Media. And he also speaks to a guy named, I believe the gentleman's name is John, and they both
Hey,
work
John.
at, yeah, hey John, hey Josh. They both do work at World Alternative Media, and they honestly have good videos and more knowledge of this, of Bitcoin at least, than I do in cryptocurrencies. And there is a new one that's out there called Steemit. We are trying to learn about Steemit, and we have some articles there. But anyways, I am against this minimum wage thing because ultimately it's going to crush small business and the small guy. Like me and you have talked extensively for the last year, and it's been causing me a little bit of anxiety. Not because of you, but because I love what we do. But most of this year was spent fighting for independent living and the independent living philosophy, but also fighting against the minimum wage, because I think you guys should know that this great teammate that I've had for the last 2 years, and hopefully a little bit longer, this great teammate that I've had is funded through a program to help me focus on my dreams and maybe sell some books one day. We do have a couple books available, by the way, but that's besides the point. And that's why I'm against the minimum wage, because I called them right away, and when I found out minimum wage was going to be going up to $15 an hour, and yet the funding I get for you is not. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also pretty messed up,
Mhm.
I find.
Like, if the government wants to make people pay more to run their businesses and be independent, then you know what? If you want to increase the cost of minimum wage in running a business, or even just following your dreams like I do through this program, then you know what? Suck it up and raise the money for us too. At least maybe not to the whole $15 an hour thing, but raise it up at least to the, I don't know, 12, because me and you have done the numbers, and like 20% of our funding by the time minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour is going to be gone.
Oh, yeah.
And I am not going to do what the grocery store is doing. I am not going to cut back on your hours, because you only work part-time as it is. My dream for the remainder of this year and next year, and then we'll see where you are in your life at that point. My dream is to, if anything, get more money to sublet the funding I get for you, and then we can actually focus on our artwork, and you can focus on your artwork. So, for me, everything's tied together. Like, do you honestly think we need $15 an hour? Do you think things are that expensive, or do you think people are just sucking it, need to suck it up because, like, I've seen other people, not you, but other people want their iPads and their iPhones and all this. So, which one is it? Is things more expensive, or your generation, and to be fair, mine and even other ones want more stuff? So which way do you see it?
I'm going to be honest. I think the way things are now with the currencies and stuff, for my generation, for me, is going perfectly fine, you know. If you want something, you can't, like, say an iPad, you're not gonna make all the money for it in one fucking paycheck. Excuse my language, but like that just kind of upsets me. But that just kind of shows how lazy people are. Because right now, the currency seems fine to me. I don't see an issue. Even though the new iPhone X is $1,000, I hear, and that's pretty ridiculous. But that's on Apple for making their shit so expensive. But I just don't see a problem with people wanting minimum wage to go up or anything. I don't think things are more expensive. Maybe gas for, like, but that's only for older people. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't really agree with this minimum wage thing. It has no meaning, I find. I don't understand why they're doing it.
I have an opinion that it's electioneering because we're 6 months or 7 months away from an election. So that's what I think. Do you think that it's all... Do you think it's all talk? Do you think 2 years from now people are going to be sitting there saying we want more money? Or, like, this is what I'm conflicted about, and this is why I need more clarification on. Is your generation more materialistic and their newest technologies than mine was?
Yeah.
In your opinion?
Yes. For sure. A big, I don't know. I think a lot of, like, we're talking about technology and my generation, right? The phones.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge problem. I don't think we ever should have gotten these smartphones and shit.
Yeah. Now, I think it's important for the audience to know that I am not a complete dinosaur. I do have a phone, but you've often made fun of me because, should we tell the audience what it is?
It's a flip phone, ladies and gentlemen. It's a flip phone.
Yes. It's a flip phone. Okay.
But I think a lot of mental health problems could come from kids growing up with like smartphones so young and stuff. Like me, my first phone that I ever bought, I was 16, and I think that was the perfect age to get a smartphone, because I don't think kids nowadays, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, I don't think they should have these iPads and smartphones around, because that's a lot to take in, Google and everything. That's like, if you want to know something, you search it up. That's not how kids should learn. You know? I think they should learn in a respectful environment and community.
Yep.
And I just think that people get too caught up in talking to their friends on their phones rather than talking to them in person or going to hang out in person. They don't see a meaning in that nowadays, I find.
Well, there's even a family member that I have, and my best friend, and besides you, and my other friend, like a lot of people that I talk to are what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'll go to call them and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And they won't answer, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I just text. I don't like talking on the phone."
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
And I hate it, but I've gotten so used to it now that I'll go to text my another family member of mine, and they'll tell me they don't like texting, they like talking, and it's like, I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I don't know which one prefers talking or texting, and I think we're losing empathy, I think we're losing reality, and it's all, again, tied to minimum wage, community, it's all tied to wants versus needs. Like, everybody's like, get an iPhone or get an Android phone. I don't need an Android phone. I got a flip phone. I can text. I can type. I can call. That's all I need a freaking phone for. But I mean, people have been so brainwashed to need everything, that now we're complaining that money is never enough, and now minimum wage is going up. And guess what, guys? You're going to be killing jobs. How many times have you maybe even seen at your store? Have you seen any of those self-checkout things at your store yet?
I use them all the time.
And that's, and that's one less cash register that you don't need. Or like not like that's one less person that doesn't need a job.
Yeah. They
And
did that at the movies too. They took out all the cash and they replaced it with those electronic movies where you select the movie.
yep.
You pay debit.
Mm-hmm.
And that just takes away like 4 or 5 jobs right there.
Mm-hmm. But then they wonder why people were pirating. Not that I'm for pirating. I'm a movie maker. I'm not for pirating.
I think pirating is a good idea.
We at Authentic Mission do not support that. Anyways.
Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Like, I'm just trying to be real.
Yep. Well, I mean, you've got your opinion and you're real about it. But my point is, I understand why people do it, because movies got more expensive, because movie companies are apparently greedy, and $45 million for Star Wars on opening night. Well, goddamn, that's not enough. So there's so many factors tied to minimum wage. Like, again, there's human behavior, connection, there's technology, technology makes things great, but people are just, it's like smoke and mirrors, and then when you look at it, we're going to be losing jobs to technology.
Yep.
And
I think, I don't know, you ever seen the movie WALL-E?
Not yet. That's one movie I haven't seen.
Oh, okay. I won't bring it up then.
No, go ahead.
Well, this takes place out like a couple years later, like I think 200 years or so ahead, and this huge department, like this huge business, like say Costco, it's pretty much like a Costco. They buy everything and they become the world dominant business that everybody goes to.
I mean,
everybody goes to it, and the world goes to complete shit because it's just filled up with trash and it's all unhealthy to live there now. So they're living in a spaceship with like all these, they don't even have to walk anywhere. They got these floating these floating chairs and stuff. And I think it's a perfect representation to, if we get to that point in technology, that's what it'll be like.
Mm-hmm.
It'll actually be like that, because I've noticed the generations get lazier and lazier and lazier, and they depend on technology. So, thanks, WALL-E.
Yeah. And let's face it, for artists like you and like me, but I'm going to use you for an example. How many artists have been at their shows? I'm not going to say what type of shows, but how many artists have been at their shows and told people, enjoy the show, put your damn phones down, don't worry about filming it, watch it.
They love getting it filmed.
No, there's been a few artists that have been speaking out against it.
Oh yeah, like
Drake.
Oh, actually, yeah, I know a lot of that.
Bruno
They always
Mars.
say, no phones. I went to a concert once, and I put my phone on. This big security guard, he's like right behind me. He's like, put that phone away. And I'm like, okay. So
Well,
put
I
it
mean,
down.
security's one thing, but what I'm saying is I've seen on the entertainment news shows I watched, like a freaking hawk, that Drake and Bruno Mars and some other people have come out and said during their shows, they've stopped the shows and said, put your phones away, enjoy the show. They haven't spoken up like other artists and been like, shit. They haven't been like, oh, you have no right to record the show. Their statement that they've been making is, be in the moment. Don't worry about recording the show. Be in the moment. And like again, like there is a wage thing with that too, because for all we know nowadays, people are Snapchatting concerts, and I don't know. Do you know anything about Snapchat? Can you monetize on Snapchat? Can you make money?
I think so. If you're a big, not just anybody can make money on Snapchat. I think big celebrities, like, I think businesses would be like, hey, we'll pay you this amount of money if you sponsor a couple of our ads.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Actually, here's an interesting question for you. If jobs are going to be squeezed out by technology with your generation, they don't want to see it. Some of them don't want to see it. I believe because you're in the workforce and you're not a lazy fucker, you're seeing it little bits by little bits. But here's an interesting question. Do you think traditional jobs are going to be, yes, they're going to be squeezed out, they're going to be changing. Do you think that we're going to see a rise in self-employment, more particularly with like internet and YouTube and different platforms that may come out over time? Because let's face it, Facebook and YouTube might be dominant, but 10 years from now, somebody else might come in and completely take them down.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I've been seeing a lot of, I went on this job website because night shifts are a little too much sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to this job website to look at other job listings, and I'm seeing a lot of like work at home type things, and just work from your computer and stuff. So I'm thinking there's gonna be more jobs like on websites, monitoring them, like making them, just being a part of all these things on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's just completely being connected into technology.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, let's face it. Your job at the grocery store, no offense, could be, not anytime soon, hopefully, but it could be replaced by a Wall-E. Or we've all seen those walking robots from China and those robots that take care of people. They've been referenced in movies sometimes. Let's face it, your job could be replaced by a robot. And that sucks. No, there's no maybe about it. It could be. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be this year or next year, but that's what I truly think.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Denial, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I don't think, because that's a pretty, like, you have to be pretty smart to do that job. I'm not saying you have to be really smart, but there's a lot you have to do. You know, I don't know, it's not like no self-driving car, right? You gotta go through this big, like 9 foot tall freaking skit of boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta like organize through them, like what's yours, what's this department, what's that department, all these different departments.
Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe not.
And then you just gotta take your stuff and put everything else back on. And then you gotta like check the expiry dates, organize the back, and it's pretty. You write down a lot of stuff. It's pretty ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that can be taken over due time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anytime soon.
No. Do you think that with technology, with like, let's say, my friend that I occasionally go visit there once in a while, I look at like the younger generation, and I look at your generation, and I wonder if this technology is going to make people so numb that they're not going to know how to communicate, and it's going to be even harder for future generations to find jobs. Do you think I'm right there? Do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot harder. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause maybe, job closes for being a cashier, but another job opens where you're making those people that took over your jobs.
Yeah. So overall, though, minimum wage going up right now, is it a good thing, bad thing? Are they going too fast with it? What do you think?
Way too fast with it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I
So-
think, my opinion, it would be bad.
Mm.
Bad thing.
It'd be interesting to, once it takes effect in January, it'd be interesting to do a follow-up video in, say, June, and see if we see an overall effect yet.
Oh yeah, for
Let's
sure.
let's clarify a few things while we're doing this video, just so people know. Even at Walmart, you go to Walmart and a bag of milk right now is $7, whereas a bag of milk was $5 not that long ago. So let's wait and see how expensive some things get, and let's see if the small guy can survive. I think big corporations are going to be taken over, and there's no such thing as pride anymore and mom and pop shops. And actually, that's the last thing I want to ask you. What do you think, mom and pop shops and corner stores? Do you think they're going to be dead?
It's either they die or they just hop on the bandwagon, and somehow it's like you're catching a train, but you're on the outside of the doors, right? So you're really trying to hang on there. There's going to be a couple of those that make it and a couple of those who don't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do or die, I guess. Depends on how smart you can be with business.
Yeah. I think we covered all the connections. Is there anything I didn't think of?
Donald Trump.
Oh, I think he's going to kill NAFTA. And I honestly don't know enough about NAFTA to know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I watched the W5 report recently on NAFTA. And, you hear about shipments of stuff from the grocery store and for the grocery stores and buying them in bulk so that they can give it to, say, your grocery store or whatever. And how we don't have to pay for food, tax on food, like, fruits and vegetables. Ironically, even though when you're on a fixed income, they don't make food cheap enough to be able to buy the healthy stuff, and then they wonder why healthcare is going down the shithole, but that's another topic for another time. But I honestly don't know enough about NAFTA to know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've heard arguments on both sides, and I would need to sit down with an expert that's not controlled by government, that's not controlled by the leftist media, and I do think he's going to kill it. That's why Trudeau is being an asshole and connecting with communist China. I don't know why I was going to say something else there, but I do think Trump's going to kill it, and Trump's some of what Trump is being attacked for in the media is overblown, and you're just feeding his base by attacking him every day. But at the same time, he makes it so damn easy. So when it comes to NAFTA, I think he's going to kill it. And when it comes to is he good or bad, I think the media is relishing it a little too much. You can't help but turn on The View every day, and it's anti-Trump this, anti-Trump that. And Meghan McCain is feeling like the lone wolf. But yeah, overall, Trump is an idiot, in my opinion. But I do understand what got him elected, and
I don't.
I do. He tapped into pop culture. He's an entertainer. He used the right words. He knows how to talk. I don't agree with the alleged abuse. I have to say alleged by Trump, but at the same time, they're all guilty, and there's abuse everywhere, and we need to stomp it all out. Not just. It's not just him. Bill Clinton has a history as well.
I just think he's a dumbass.
Touche on that.
All right.
So, have a good time, guys. Enjoy this video. If there's any topics, because this is a new segment on the show, on the channel, So if there's any topics you want to see us cover, then message us, and we will look at covering them. Peace out.
I'm down with that.